From its earliest days, America has been a nation shaped by war. These conflicts, while fraught with sacrifice and hardship, have been instrumental in defining the nation's borders, its values, and its place on the world stage. From the colonial struggles against European powers to the global conflicts of the 20th century, each war has left an indelible mark on the American story. These wars tested the courage and resolve of the American people, pushing them to the brink of their limits. They witnessed extraordinary acts of bravery, ingenuity, and sacrifice, as ordinary citizens rose to meet extraordinary challenges. They also exposed deep divisions and contradictions within American society, forcing the nation to confront uncomfortable truths about itself. Yet, through it all, America emerged from these trials stronger, its spirit unbroken. Each conflict, while devastating in its own right, ultimately contributed to the forging of a nation, shaping its identity and its destiny. The French and Indian War, a significant chapter in the larger 7 Years' War, was a monumental clash between the burgeoning British colonies and the French, who were allied with various Native American tribes. This conflict was not just a battle for territory but a struggle for dominance in the New World, with each side vying for control over the rich and fertile lands of North America. This conflict, fought primarily on American soil, had far-reaching consequences for the future of the United States. The war's outcome would shape the political and cultural landscape of the continent, influencing the development of the American identity and setting the stage for future conflicts and alliances. The war began in the Ohio Valley, a contested territory claimed by both the British and the French. This region, rich in resources and strategic importance, became the flashpoint for the initial skirmishes that would escalate into a full-scale war. The Ohio Valley was seen as the gateway to the West, and control over it meant access to vast tracts of land and valuable trade routes. The fighting quickly escalated, drawing in Native American allies on both sides. These alliances were crucial, as Native American tribes brought their knowledge of the land and unique combat skills to the battlefield. The involvement of Native American tribes added a complex layer to the conflict, as they sought to protect their own interests and territories amidst the colonial struggle. Key figures like George Washington, a young colonial officer, gained valuable military experience during this conflict. Washington's early encounters with the French and their Native American allies would shape his future military strategies and leadership style. His role in the war, particularly at the Battle of Monongahela, highlighted his resilience and tactical acumen, setting the stage for his later prominence in the American Revolution.
After years of brutal fighting, the Treaty of Paris in 1763 brought the war to an end. This treaty was a pivotal moment in history, as it not only concluded the hostilities, but also redrew the map of North America. The negotiations were complex, involving multiple European powers and addressing various territorial disputes. France ceded its North American territories east of the Mississippi River to Britain, marking a significant shift in power dynamics in the region. This transfer of land had profound implications, as it effectively removed France as a colonial power in North America and expanded British influence. The new territorial boundaries would lead to further conflicts and negotiations with Native American tribes and other colonial powers. This victory, however, came at a cost. The war had left Britain deeply in debt, leading to increased taxation on the colonies. The financial strain of the war effort forced the British government to seek new revenue sources, and the colonies became an obvious target for taxation. This decision would have far-reaching consequences, as it sowed the seeds of discontent and resistance among the colonists, a factor that would contribute to the brewing tensions leading to the American Revolution. The imposition of taxes, such as the Stamp Act and the Townshend Acts, sparked widespread protests and a growing sense of unity among the colonies. These events set the stage for the revolutionary movement, as colonists began to question British authority and demand greater autonomy. The legacy of the French and Indian War thus extended far beyond its immediate aftermath, influencing the course of American history and the eventual fight for independence.
The American Revolution was a watershed moment in American history, marking the birth of a nation founded on the principles of liberty and self-governance. Fueled by growing discontent with British rule and inspired by Enlightenment ideals, the 13 colonies embarked on a perilous journey for independence. The revolution began with the battles of Lexington and Concord in 1775, igniting a full-blown war against the mighty British Empire. Led by figures like George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, and Benjamin Franklin, the colonists faced overwhelming odds. The Continental Army, often poorly equipped and outnumbered, relied on guerrilla tactics and unwavering determination. The turning point came in 1777 with the American victory at Saratoga, which convinced France to formally ally with the fledgling nation. With French support, the tide of the war turned, culminating in the decisive American victory at Yorktown in 1781. The Treaty of Paris in 1783 formally recognized American independence, ending the revolution and giving rise to a new nation. Section 4. The War of 1812, a second war for independence. This conflict, often overshadowed by the American Revolution, played a crucial role in shaping the young nation. The War of 1812, often referred to as the Second War for Independence, was a conflict between the United States and Great Britain. It was a time when the fledgling United States sought to assert its sovereignty and protect its interests against the might of the British Empire. Sparked by British interference with American shipping and the impressment of American sailors, the war was a test of America's resolve and its ability to assert itself on the world stage. The British practice of impressment, where American sailors were forcibly taken to serve in the Royal Navy, was a significant point of contention. This blatant disregard for American sovereignty and the rights of its citizens fueled the call for war. The war was marked by fierce naval battles on the Great Lakes and along the Atlantic coast. These waters became the stage for intense and strategic confrontations, with both sides vying for control. The Great Lakes in particular saw some of the most dramatic naval engagements, as control of these waters was crucial for supply lines and territorial dominance. The young United States Navy, despite being outmatched by the Royal Navy, achieved notable victories. Ships like the USS Constitution, famously known as Old Ironsides, became legendary for their resilience and success in battle. These victories, though few, were significant morale boosters for the American public and demonstrated the potential of the United States Navy. On land, the war was characterized by a series of back-and-forth battles, with neither side gaining a decisive advantage. The conflict stretched from the Canadian border to the Gulf of Mexico, involving various theaters of war. Key battles, such as those at Fort McHenry and New Orleans, became iconic moments in American history, symbolizing the resilience and determination of the American forces. The war ended in a stalemate with the signing of the Treaty of Ghent in 1814. This treaty essentially restored the status quo ante bellum, meaning that no territory changed hands, and pre-war boundaries were reinstated. The negotiations in Ghent, Belgium were a complex process, reflecting the broader geopolitical concerns of the time. While the treaty restored pre-war boundaries, it failed to address the issues of impressment and neutral shipping rights that had initially sparked the conflict. These unresolved issues would continue to be points of tension in the years to come. However, the war did bring about a newfound respect for American sovereignty on the international stage. However, the war did solidify American independence and foster a growing sense of national unity and identity. The shared experiences of the war, from the hardships endured to the victories celebrated, helped to forge a stronger national consciousness. The War of 1812, though often overlooked, was a pivotal moment in the journey of the United States towards becoming a unified and independent nation. Section 5. The Mexican-American War, from 1846 to 1848, Manifest Destiny and Expansion. This period marked a significant chapter in American history, driven by the fervent belief in manifest destiny. The Mexican-American War was a conflict driven by the concept of manifest destiny, a term coined in the 1840s. It encapsulated the belief that the United States was destined, even divinely ordained, to expand its territory across the North American continent, from the Atlantic to the Pacific Ocean. This ideology was not just a call for territorial expansion, but also a reflection of the American spirit of exploration and ambition. The belief that the United States had a divine right to expand its territory westward to the Pacific Ocean was deeply ingrained in the national consciousness. This expansionist ambition led to a clash with Mexico, which controlled vast territories in the Southwest. These territories included present-day California, Nevada, Utah, Arizona, and parts of Colorado, Wyoming, New Mexico, and Texas. The war began with a dispute over the border between Texas, which had recently gained independence from Mexico and been annexed by the United States and Mexico. The annexation of Texas in 1845 was a contentious issue, as Mexico had never recognized Texas's independence. The conflict quickly escalated into a full-blown war, with American forces invading Mexico and capturing key cities, including Mexico City. The U.S. military strategy was aggressive and aimed at quickly subduing Mexican forces to force a favorable peace settlement. The Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo in 1848 ended the war, marking a significant turning point in the history of both nations. The treaty forced Mexico to cede a vast territory to the United States. This territory included California, a region that would soon become a focal point of American expansion due to the gold rush of 1849. Arizona, with its vast deserts and unique landscapes, was also part of the ceded territory. The acquisition of these lands opened new opportunities for settlement and economic development. New Mexico, with its rich cultural heritage and strategic location, was another significant addition. The ceded territories also included parts of several other states, reshaping the map of the United States. This territorial acquisition significantly expanded the size of the United States, adding approximately 525,000 square miles of land. This expansion was seen as a fulfillment of the Manifest Destiny ideology, but it also brought new challenges and conflicts. The acquisition of new territories reignited the debate over the expansion of slavery. The question of whether these new territories would be free or slave-holding states became a contentious issue, polarizing the nation. This debate over slavery in the newly acquired territories was a key factor that would contribute to the American Civil War. The war, which erupted in 1861, was a culmination of decades of tension and conflict over the issue of slavery and states' rights. The Mexican-American War and the subsequent territorial expansion were pivotal in shaping the United States' future. They set the stage for the Civil War and the eventual abolition of slavery, fundamentally transforming the nation. The legacy of Manifest Destiny and the Mexican-American War is complex, reflecting both the aspirations and the conflicts that have defined American history. The expansion westward brought new opportunities but also highlighted the deep divisions within the country. Today, the territories acquired through the Mexican-American War are integral parts of the United States, rich in history and cultural diversity. The story of Manifest Destiny and expansion continues to be a significant chapter in the American narrative.